Good morning, Rev Walter here, and once again we welcome you to another episode of the show. Apologies that we're starting about 4 or so minutes late, in fact 5, due to the usual technical issues. But nonetheless, here we are. Good to have you, Doc, on the call. I can see Dr. John Mubanga there. Thank you so much for being part of our call this morning, and many others who will join us later. So today we're looking at how to scale your business. And remember, we've been looking at the series around scaling, and that in itself is part of the whole idea of bootstrapping. So the series was on bootstrapping, and we got to the fourth part of bootstrapping, which is the one that deals with the whole issue of scaling. And in scaling, we're looking at various aspects, and today we're looking at another very exciting aspect. So I've said this many times, but you will never tire to mention repeatedly, and that is there are two key activities that must take place for your business to survive and then strive. Okay, the first is that you must showcase, or must be showcasing your product or service by being in front of customers. In short, someone must be eyeballing your product or service as often as possible. This is absolutely paramount. If people don't see what you're doing, forget it. How are you going to make any kind of sales? So the key is there must be somebody seeing your business on a regular basis. And then the second is that you must be making sales. And if these two do not take place, your business is basically toast. So sales, the transactions, when money comes in and the product goes out, or rather when the product goes out and money comes in, or when a service is rendered and money comes in. These are the two activities. So number one, someone must see the business, and number two, somebody must pay for the business. This is it. So when it comes to scaling any business, there are 5 factors you need to be aware of, and that's what I'm going through item by item. Number one is to assess and strategize. We just looked at that. Number 2 is seek financing, which we just looked at as well. And now we are on the third one, which is securing your sales. Okay, and then that's what we're going to be looking at. Then number 4, invest in technology. Very, very important aspect. And number 5, this is such a tough one, hire the right staff or strategically outsource. So either you outsource strategically or you hire the right staff. Albert there is saying, how do I get clients who don't know me and works for my services I'm offering? Okay, they don't know you and your works for, that's what I'm covering today. So hang on, tighten your seatbelt. You'll certainly be earning a bit of serious information that people pay thousands of kwachas to get. So securing your sales. Now, as already highlighted, your income is critical to your success as a business. That income must be predictable and consistent. And that can only happen if the process of sales is well secured. In fact, for a lot of businesses, the number one reason they fail is cash flow. End of story. Yes, there are many other reasons, but it's really, it boils down to cash flow, because if there's no money, forget it. You're basically toast, okay? And in terms of ground preparation, you must decide beforehand if you will engage a sales team or go out and do the sales yourself. And this is highly dependent on the type of product or service you offer. So the steps I'm outlining now are focused on those that need to sell in order to gain a sale. Sell in order to gain a sale. Very important, okay? Now, many products and services would require this kind of marketing in order to close them, all right? And another critical factor to place before commencing the process, which I'm now going to be outlining, is your system for lead generation, okay? This is part of the sales process, and if you get the right leads, okay, if you get the right leads, it would lead to faster and easier sales. The way in which one generates leads is a topic for another day, but once leads are secured, you can secure the sale using the process that I'm about to outline. So what are leads? For those who are, because again, you can find yourself in jargon, and it's very, very common. So in order to avoid jargon, this is why I'm now going to. So leads are basically contacts, details, people's information. This is the information that helps you determine, okay, these are people interested in a particular type of aspect of your business or the other type. And these people come and lift their hands. That's what we always say in our business. We say they lift their hands and say, I'm ready. I'm interested in being part of what you're doing. I'm interested in what you're offering. That's what we call lead generation. It's a very, very important aspect, and that's done by having some kind of strategy in place with salespeople whose job is to go out there and pick up these leads. Now, sometimes it may not be your salespeople per se. It could actually be literally your sales activities themselves. Now, if those sales activities are solid and powerful, then that can help you be able to kind of bring in all these names and contacts and details of people, and then you can use that in order to now prompt for sales, as we say. Okay, so let's look at that process now. Number one, now by the way, let me stress a bit more on the leads before I come to this securing of sales. Leads, how do you collect leads? There are so many ways in which leads can be collected, and again, that would need its own deliberate and specific presentation. But essentially, you can collect leads online. That's the most effective and, how can I put it, not cheapest, but most ideal process at the moment. It's very, very favorable because it eliminates the cost of going out physically to get leads from people in canvassing and walking around, and the old traditional methods, which, by the way, I'm not saying aren't effective. They are. It's just that they are cumbersome and will cost you a small fortune. So if you can find a way in which you can bring on board names and leads with the least amount of cost, for which the most effective is what I've just mentioned, then you're better off with that. So ideally, you want a situation where you can actually go out there, pick up leads without spending a lot of money in the lead collection process, which is a very big challenge with a lot of businesses. They tend to spend a small fortune, like I said before, in collecting leads. So you want to kind of avoid those kind of costs in the first place. And the most effective way that can happen is, like I say, when you have a way in which, am I still in the call? Am I still on the call? I hope I am. I think I am. Yeah. So it's the most effective way in which you can make sure that you collect these leads and spend the least of money in the process doing so. So again, online platforms really make that much easier now, more than ever before. So you don't spend as much as you would in the past. So I would recommend seriously that you look into lead collection using the internet, using digital platforms. This is what we all do, and it's been extremely effective for us when it comes to helping us to collect leads. So I always recommend any day that this is what you do on a consistent and regular basis. You will find you save yourself a small fortune. So anyway, so once you pick up these leads, now before you go to see them, before you engage with them, because I'm talking to people who don't have a proper sales team where you bring in a proper sales manager who's experienced in this thing. So you're working as a small mums pups, me, myself, and I type of business, small setup. So how do you make sure your sales are very consistent and smooth? So number one, identify the decision maker. I'm telling you, for me, that has saved me hours of calls and trips and engagement and pitching. Just identify the decision maker. The best way to avoid repeat visits to a prospect in order to close a deal is to ensure the day you need to present, you do so to all key decision makers. Okay? Very important. And then sometimes, however, that may not be possible on first contact due to decision hierarchy. So in such cases, ensure your initial contact is what is termed an elevator pitch that is good enough to pique the interest of the initial contact in such a way that they get decision makers in the room for you. Very, very critical. Now, with some learning, this can be mastered well, such that you always get the decision makers in most of your presentations and save yourself a ton and lots of wasted time. So, don't pitch to the secretary. Don't pitch to the receptionist. You get my point. Don't pitch. Maybe you might want to pitch an elevator pitch to the what are they called? The PA. But even then, I'll still be very insistent on the fact that you want to kind of quickly identify, like what Carol is saying. Coach Carol says, pre-qualify. That's right. You pre-qualify and save yourself grief. And then number two, so number one, identify the decision maker. Number two, focus on the benefits, not features. Now, that's a bit technical, but for salespeople, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Human beings are naturally selfish. So furthermore, decisions are always made based on what is best for us. Okay? Great sales must leverage this truth. In short, even though you may focus on features, most times smart sellers learn how to reach the heart. Okay? And that, not just the heart's emotions to sway decisions towards a yes. So perceived benefits always win over features when it comes to sales. So what you want to do is you want to appeal to the emotions of the individual. So for example, you're selling your, for argument's sake, let's just imagine you sell LCD screens, large 50, 60, 70, 85-inch LCD screens. Now, we know that these are smart TVs. You can stick in your flash and what, you know, it's got like all these key features, 4K, you know, Ultra HD and all that jazz. To be honest, to the average person, that's just jargon. It means zilch. The key is to say, can you imagine when you come from work? Now, this is me now appealing to the emotions. Listen to this. Imagine you come from work, you're tired, you're stressed. How does it feel to get into your house and this massive screen is there and you put your favorite match on and you watch this literally like you're at the stadium, it's out there, massive piece of thing, and you sit there and you feel good about yourself. The fact that, wow, I can get some great entertainment. And then not only that, when people walk into your house, can you imagine what they start to think about how life is going for you with this massive TV? Now, do you see, it's funny, but I tell you, as a salesperson, I know for a fact that that kind of language will win a sale any day over 4K Ultra HD, and you can stick 8 flashes, and it's got internet thing, and you can update the apps on the TV. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but so can a 20-inch. So the thing here is about the ego. It's about appealing to the emotions, and it's very effective. Okay, so that's why we use that method when pitching. So appeal to the heart. It works all the time, whether it's a company, whether it's individuals. Appeal to the heart. Number 3, utilize the scarcity principle. Now, this is a winner. This one, I mean, it's sad. As a preacher, I've seen even pastors use it. It's very effective. It's so effective because it works and gets people to get that whole fear of missing out. The FOMO thing, fear of missing out. It works all the time. So create a sense of urgency by offering a time-bound deal. In short, when presenting, ensure you indicate that if they make a decision within a specified period, there will be some benefits that will accrue to them, and discounts and special bundled products can be very persuasive when presented in the right sequence. So, for example, in church, let me give you a very good example. In church, where the scarcity principle is used, it's very manipulative because those of us who do NLP know it works. And so anytime it's used, really, they're just being manipulative, but it works. Here's how scarcity works in church. Oh, so imagine you're doing ministry, or the preacher is doing ministry, not me, not you, but the preacher is doing ministry. This man is doing ministry. And then as he's doing ministry, boom, somebody stands up. They were on a wheelchair, right? Like God moves genuinely, and some lame guy stands up off his wheelchair and walks to the front and starts dancing, right? Now, here's how scarcity works. Very powerful. At that point, all the preacher says is, oh my God, there's a powerful anointing in this room. It is so powerful. Oh my God. And you can do all the theatrics you want, but essentially the anointing is powerful. Can you sense it? Can you feel it? Now, in sales, that's leading the listener. Very effective, because if there's people in the room, all you need is 2 or 3 to say yes, and everybody else kind of buys along, because it's called the herd mentality or mob psychology. So if you see 20 people going, yeah, yes, all of a sudden you say, okay, I must be missing out. I think I'm so unspiritual. Let me start feigning this. Now, at that stage, the brilliant presenter then brings in scarcity. And it's very effective. What they simply say at that point is, God is telling me right now, there are 30 of you. You need to tap into this now. You need to tap into this anointing now. God is moving powerfully here. Bring your money. Bring just come and sow right now. God's moving. And this is limited now. Do it now. In the next 5 minutes. Next 5 minutes. You see that? That's scarcity principle. That what I've just demonstrated to you can be done in any sphere of sales. It's very effective because two things happen. Number one, fear of missing out. Number two, the urgency of what the mob is doing, and maybe they're missing it. So they quickly move in, and you know, at that point their emotions are high, so that's when you want to take advantage. We call it buyer's interest. And if you do not take advantage of a sale at that point and close it, you then move to another phase in sales we call buyer's remorse. The law of diminishing interest. So you see, again, if you don't at that point pitch and close, with time and passage, many buyers, their psychology goes back. They no longer have the emotion that led them to be so excited in the first place. So many of them actually start to say, maybe I don't really need that big 85-inch TV. See? So they start thinking twice. But if you had pitched them and if you had locked them right at that point, they'll buy the TV and they'll say, ah, heck, what the heck? At least the TV is here. I'm enjoying it. And you know, once they start to use the thing, very few people will take it back. And if they see the reactions at home, the people, oh, this is so nice. Oh, this is powerful. That's it. They're not going to take the TV back, even if they realize they just spent clients' money. You get my point? So this scarcity principle is a killer in sales. It's it's the one that just is the knockout. It's the sucker punch they never saw coming. This method is very powerful. Put it in all your marketing and see how well it works. There's another little, okay, I'll come to it. Number 4, handle objections. This is very, very important, okay? You can do this in 2 ways. Either wait for the clients to raise them, which honestly is a lousy way to do it, or you can deal with most common objections in your presentation. So you know what are the major issues people have concerns over, then add that as part of your presentation. Add that to part of your pitch. But don't say, most people tell me, no, because then, you know, it makes it sound bad. That's not how you say it. So you say, one of the concerns we had when putting this product together is that for many people, they may find themselves having this and having that. Okay, so so that now sounds like you are being empathetic. The truth is, you know, because you've asked people and they've come back to you and they've canceled, you know, they've canceled on you, they've asked for refunds. So you've learned from your past. So what you do, incorporate that, but don't say many of our clients, because it's like, so now in the country, you see the crowd thing comes in again, the mob. So no, just say one of our great concerns we had when putting this together was the fact that perhaps a number of people may find 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore, to avoid that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you've answered. So then it's like, oh wow, that's powerful. You know, it's like, oh, this people have a lot of empathy. Wow, you know. But the truth is that you know because you dealt with it in the past. So handle the objection, okay? And that way you eliminate. But the most common reasons for not buying, which are beyond you. So there are a number of them, 3 of them. 3 things which, if they throw your way, you're basic. There's nothing you can do. Number 1, they need to deliberate. That's why, again, you know, you don't want a situation where you pitch, then now they need to deliberate, and some of the key people are not there. Make sure everybody that matters is there, so that it's not the COO pitching to the CEO or the sales manager pitching to the, you know, business development officer. No, I mean, no, you don't want that. What you want is BDO is in the meeting. Where possible, CEO is in the meeting, unless CEO doesn't need this, like completely delegated to them. If they make a decision, it flies, you know, that kind of thing. So that when you are done, they just go deliberate. End of story. And that deliberation will lead to a yes, we're going to do it, or no, we need more information. And if they come back with a no, we need more information, it means you didn't do a good pitch. So your pitch should have everything they need. Brief and to the point, and then a follow-up communique. And in communiques, the secret is make them brief and sweet. So 1 page or 2 pages, done. If they want technical details, you can discuss those in further meetings once you've gone past the pitch and sale. Then you can get into the nitty-gritty. Don't send a 25-page, you know, breakdown, because really, to be honest, that's going to mess you up. Nobody's going to follow that. And then number 2, they have no money at the moment, and that's some people like to hide around. Well, let me just make a decision, and then they make a decision. I'll get back. The truth is they don't have the money. So when you have cases where they don't have the money, yeah, fine, they don't have the money, but you would tell. Any good salesperson like myself would tell. Apaninkani and drama. For those who are outside our country, here they don't have money. That's it. So once you know that it's a money issue, there's nothing to do. And then the third one, they are not interested. So these are the three, right? They need to deliberate, they have no money, they are not interested. And if they are not interested, again, in the words of Coach Caro earlier on, it means you did not pre-qualify them well. Because if you pre-qualified them, you would have known. That's why, as a salesperson, I like lead generation strategies. Because when you generate good leads, it's people saying, I'm interested. They lift their hands. Let me give you a very good example of I'm interested in church. Let me not use church, I'm doing church too much. Let's use another example. You go, you do a presentation, and after you do your presentation, you say, okay, so at the end of this meeting, I will be sitting on the south side of the hall, and anybody who's interested to come through, please come through. I have my books I'll be selling, and we can also exchange details. That's very powerful. You have a crowd full of people. The ones who are going to come and meet you and interact with you, those are the I'm interested. Those are solid leads. In marketing, those are hot leads. It means they've expressed interest. If you have a desk at an exhibition or a conference, you have the desk and people come to the desk, that means they are interested, okay? And many times when they come to a desk like that, you should have a few tablets handy. You should have links online, which you can immediately share. Your staff there or yourself can immediately share, and they can put their personal details, and you can get in touch with them later. This is how you can be so effective, okay? So they are not interested means they didn't even show up, and so which means you pitch to people who are not interested, and that's a really bad example of lousy leads, okay? So these are the only core objections outside your power to handle. Every other objection you can handle. I've got no money, let's create a staggered plan. Maybe I come back in 6 months. You know, whatever. There's always a way around to semi-close that sale. You will be surprised when you give the right offering what people are willing to give in to. So it's very, very effective. So number 4, handle objections. And then number 5, be aware of your competition. Now, in this issue of competition, it's a double-edged sword, right? Okay, so this is the awareness of competition is paramount importance, because you will know what aspects of your marketing should be the differentiator. It is your ability to offer what is commonly called your USP or unique selling proposition that will give you an edge over your competitors. That can only happen if you are aware of what your competitors are doing and offering. So you can't just fly blind. You kind of need to know what are they offering, what are they doing, how are they pitching, what kind of salespeople do they have, you know, that kind of thing. It's so important, just so that you know. And many times one of the ways I like to do it is literally just to purchase whatever product they have and then go through and reverse engineer it where need be. Just do it, just do it. That's part of competition. It's very healthy, it's very good, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You might just find, oh my God, that is so powerful, that what my competitor is doing. You know what, I will adopt that and twist it a bit and then offer it back. Very powerful. And then number 6, always be closing. A, B, C. And in brackets, follow up. Okay, 10% of prospects will buy regardless, even if a frog sold to them, even if an introvert of the highest degree sold, even if a person that didn't know jack from squat sold, they will buy, because it's like, oh my God, I've been looking for this. How much? How much? How much? Here's the money. Just let's make this sale. Let's make this sale. That's 10%. Then 10% will not buy even if Jesus came to pitch. They will not buy. But then 80% need to be persuaded. And it is here that follow-up becomes another powerful process. Some sales can take days, weeks, or even months to close, but with consistency, they all add up to your bottom line. That's why good salespeople, you want to have a good diary, good management system for lead generation and lead management, so that you know this customer said Thursday next week, that customer said month, and that customer said they've just had a funeral, call me in 3 months. You know, that kind of thing. You want to kind of keep track of all these parts nicely. Don't be like a certain hotel I know who have a certain special elite product where they cycle leads. It's so annoying. Don't do that to your clients, and don't do that to your sales team if you're using a sales team. Don't give them stale leads and leads which have been contacted before. That's just wrong. That's why on leads there should be a narration. This person was contacted in June, they said contact me in November. Put that there, put in a notice. Those of us who use systems, we actually push that name to November, and in November it will pop up. That's how we operate. And that way you can only contact people as and when they request to be contacted. Not today it's John who called, next week it's Peter calling, the other week it's Jane calling again. Ah, but you people, I told you already. I'm not, you know, and that's what ends up getting the terrible statement. I'm not interested. Block. I mean, that's not how you sell. Good sales works on the principle that you actually, you know, operate so strategically so that you're actually offering what people want. And very quickly, in closing, upsell and cross-sell. This is the most powerful skill. I think for me, this is the most brilliant. Like next to the scarcity principle, upselling and cross-selling, I'm gonna have set it up on my websites, and I can tell you I have sold 10 times more using this method. Now I'll share it to you very quickly. With the right sales sequence and presentation. So the secret in selling is the sequence of your selling. I've seen people going to sell something and they say, oh, these are our products. And today we have this product here going at special for 200 kwacha, but in their arsenal, they've got products for 1,000. That's a terrible way of presenting, because once you mention your cheapest product, it locks in the mind of the buyer. And I assure you, you will not sell this higher price product. It's very, very difficult. In good selling, if your intention is to sell overall, start by locking the client's interest and focusing on your most expensive product, and let them sit and stew with that price. And if they really want your product, they'll counter propose. And when they counter propose, then you can start removing the arsenal of other products. You know, when I did sales, and still do, I have sold so many high-end products price-wise using what I'm just telling you. You don't even have to go to your 200 kwacha special product. No, why should you sell the 200 kwacha one? You know, that's you making a loss right there. It's completely irrelevant. What you should do instead is pitch this 1,000 kwacha product and stick to your guns and let them stew on the decision. You will be amazed how people say, okay, let's do it. Give me 5 of those. So you move five products with 1,000 kwacha instead of moving 5 products with 200 kwacha. And it is on this point that I always say that when you are going to pitch to your clients, make sure that you are selling to the right client at the right price. One of the greatest mistakes, and I need to close, one of the greatest mistakes a lot of salespeople do is to sell Corollas to people that can afford Range Rovers. I'll say that again. They sell Corollas to people that can afford Range Rovers. Why are you selling a Corolla? Like, honestly, why? Why don't you sell why are you selling the Corolla? Why not sell the Range Rover? That's my point. So you need to be very, very mindful in your pitching. It's better a person tells you, okay, but Range Rover, I love it, but I can't afford it. Oh, really? Yeah. So what can you afford? And then you'll be surprised. They'll tell you, well, if you have something for, so maybe you are pitching something for 1 million kwacha, and they tell you, well, if you have something for 300, you go, oh, okay. Then you look in your arsenal of products, and you're not going to sell your 50,000 kwacha. Why would you? You're going to sell your 300,000. You say, well, you know what? Actually, we do have a product here for 300 kwacha. It's not the Range Rover, but, and then you begin to pitch that. And now they get very excited. Oh, okay, this is nice. So you see, you've counted down. And at the end of the day, if you've done a good job, you will sell the 300 kwacha product, 1,000 kwacha product, instead of selling the 50,000 kwacha product. So don't sell yourself short. And in upselling and cross-selling, I'll close with this. What's a cross-sell? You go into Hungry Lion, you notice all these franchise guys, they are very clever in how they ask their questions. Hello, can I have a 1 bite special, 1 bite, 1 special, whatever they call it? That's 39 kwacha. They go, oh, really? Then the first question they'll ask you is regular or large? Clever, clever. If you say large, that goes from 39 to 50. Just that difference. And so you walked in intending to buy something for 40 kwacha, you end up buying something for the price I just mentioned, which is 50. And again, they can say, would you like a drink with that? Oh, yes. Oh, well, then if you want a drink, why don't you go for the combo? Because it's better for you. The combo has that, and it's 60 kwacha. Oh, really? What? Okay, I think that's okay. Would you like anything else? You see, all these questions are designed. Then you say, what do you have? Well, we have the ice cream, and then we have the whatever, and we have the whatever. Oh, how much are those? Well, the ice cream is 15 kwacha. Oh, wow. Okay, add it. So there you are now. You're at 75 kwacha. Have you seen what I'm saying? This is called cross-selling. That's what it's called, cross-selling. So you've got 2, 3, 4 products, and clever questions can get customers to add packages. So if you went and told them 75 kwacha, many people will be like, I don't have the 75. But if you use the strategy I just came from telling you, most people will be like, give it to me, give it to me. It's fine. They'll spend the 75. So here it's called cross-selling. Upselling. I've got my course called The 7 Principles for Financial Prosperity. In that course, one of the things I do is I sell the book. The book is only 100%. That's what I normally market. Now, as people are getting ready to pay for the book, at that stage when they're about to pay, so it's not just at the beginning, but when they're ready to pay, then I say, oh, by the way, did you know there's a course? Would you be interested to look at the course, which is 550 and includes this book amongst other things? Or would you rather continue with with just this order? Just based on that question alone, I've had about maybe good 3 to 4% who would actually go, you know what, it's 550 and I get the 6-hour course and I get the book and I get the workbook and I get the and the tools for how to do my money thing. You know what, let me have that one instead. I think give me that one. I prefer that one. So a lot of times I've been able to make sales and people have been able to pay 550 instead of paying the original initial 100 kwacha. So that's another very smart way in which we upsell. So that's called upselling. So upselling is different from cross-selling, because in cross-selling, you're simply selling products that are, what's the word? They are parallel to the product. So you've got the main product and then you've got other products that you're selling on top. And in upselling, you bring another superior product and you pitch it against the original product they chose. So in those of you who like phones, that's what iPhone does. So they have not just iPhone, most of these companies, that's what they're doing nowadays. So they'll give you a product and then they'll tell you, oh, this is the basic version, but you could get the top of the range product version. So when you hear Pro Max, that's an example. So you've got the iPhone, the normal one, then you got the next iPhone in the middle there. I don't know, I don't like iPhones. And then at the end, you got the Pro Max, which is like the most powerful version with all the bells and whistles and the massive space in it. So these are some of the ways in which it's done. So on that note, thank you. Sorry for going a bit over. I was just compensating for the 5 or so minutes we were late. So share this video on your platforms and let people learn from this. Next week, when I come on Monday, I'll be looking at investing in technology. That's another very powerful section. Have a great day. David, if you're still on the call, you can help me to stop the call.